So we have all new insight into the technology behind the Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser that will be ushering in a whole new level of immersive experience for the Disney parks. So let's dive into all of that up next. Hi there Waltoneers, I'm Jack and this is of course DSNY Newscast, and before we get started, be sure to go ahead and subscribe down below if you're new to this channel, hit that notification bell, and with all that out of the way, let's get straight into it. As Walt Disney World has many projects under construction at the moment that will open within 2021 and into 2022. From Remy's Ratatouille adventure, to the Epcot transformation, to the all-new roller coasters with the Tron Light Cycle run at the Magic Kingdom, and Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. But the one project that has seemingly sparked the most amount of interest has to be the 2-day, 2-night ultra-immersive experience on board the Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser, or what has come to be referred to as the Star Wars Hotel. But in reality, this is much more akin to a Disney cruise ship on land, where you will live, eat and sleep Star Wars for 2 days and 2 nights, encountering alien characters and creatures. You'll be encouraged to develop a backstory and undertake specialised missions around the ship. But besides the planned excursion down to the planet Batuu for a uniquely themed visit to Galaxy's Edge, the entirety of this experience will take place fully enveloped in the world of Star Wars, which means that in the iconic words of the Haunted Mansion's stretching room, there will be no windows and no doors to the outside world, that is. Which makes complete sense, as that would inevitably break the illusion of being transported up to the Galactic Starcruiser. However, that isn't to say that there will be no windows of any kind, as that would be incredibly claustrophobic. But instead, throughout the entire ship, there will be digital windows out into the vista of space, which will be found everywhere, from the atrium to the bridge to the bar lounge and restaurant, and of course within the guest cabins as well. Although this concept of digital windows also brings us to another project that shares the exact same technological concept, and that is the upcoming Space 220 restaurant over at Epcot that is still awaiting its opening at some point within 2021. And so between these two projects of the Galactic Starcruiser and Space 220, a lot is riding on this digital window concept delivering in a big way, and hopefully convincing your eyes into thinking that you're staring out into space. And so that's where this patent comes into all of this. And yes, before you ask, it is just a prop that I printed out for the purpose of this video, which looking back on it now is kind of stupid. But either way, let's dive into how the technology actually works. As up until this point, we've only received concept art, digital renderings, and physical mock-ups of what these cabins will look like. But then we received this inside look at the digital window technology turned off inside the construction area of the Galactic Starcruiser at Walt Disney World. And understandably, because it was turned off, it didn't look very impressive. And then with regards to Space 220, we also received this low-resolution photo inside the construction of that restaurant at Epcot with the digital window in early testing. But you see, the thing is about this technology is it's so much more than a curved or half-dome projection screen as we previously thought, as instead it uses a very complicated projection technique to create a real sense of depth. And the way I know that is through some investigation work sifting through Disney's patents from last year, and one in particular really stood out because of this attached diagram that really gave the game away, as this diagram is undeniably similar to the bridge on board the Galactic Starcruiser, or the Space 220 restaurant at Epcot. And so let's begin to break down this patent for what is most likely the technology that will be used within these space windows. As the first thing to talk about is the use of multiplane, as in terms of animation history, when Walt Disney was seeking a way to vastly advance the art form of animation in the 1930s, the Disney studio created their own multiplane camera that was first tested in the Old Mill Silly Symphony short, then used in the first animated feature ever with Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and later to even greater effect in Pinocchio and Bambi. As you see, the multiplane system used many layered panes of glass moving at various speeds and distances that would create a parallax effect when the camera was filming from a fixed position. However, what this patent is aiming to achieve is making these various planes capable of a real-world parallax effect, but most importantly with your eyes as the camera instead, which makes things infinitely more difficult as the illusion must work from all angles as you won't be fixed in position. And so that brings us to the next component, which is the use of a panoramic multi-plane system, which will allow for this illusion to be viewed from every single angle, as it will encompass the entirety of the window, both on the X and Y axes. As we can see in this diagram, that the top and bottom of the multi-plane are hidden from the guest view through the angled window and the curved mirror element eclipsing the height of the window. But then we come to the more complicated part of the design, and that is the transparent collimated display system. And yeah, if I'm being honest, I didn't really know what that term meant either. But basically it's the process for which a beam of light, or parallel rays, will become concentrated with little to no divergence and no dispersion over distance. With the main application for collimated displays up until this point being for flight simulators mounted to 6 degrees of freedom motion bases. But in this patent, Disney is using the core concept behind a collimated display to create a glassless 3D imagery effect that will work on the X, Y and Z axis. From all angles, that will create a sense of real-world depth and parallax within these windows. And this is to be achieved by projecting onto a convex projection screen that is above and then reflects down onto a concave mirror element that must be transmissive of light, meaning that Imagineers can have control over the opacity of the mirror, thus making the mirror element transparent from the viewing gallery with the digital reflected imagery floating in 3D space, with another projection wall in the background. And because this system is using reflections, it means that there will be no visible projection light beams or dust ruining this effect. So for an example, in the case of Space 220, the vista of space will be in the background on the projection wall, the Earth could be on another concave mirror element, and then the astronaut could be on another element much closer to the viewing area, thus creating the parallax effect. Now when reading this patent, a couple of things became very obvious, as this system seems like the 21st century version of the Pepper's Ghost effect found within the Haunted Mansion, but instead it can work from any angle and in much brighter controlled indoor environments, which is a monumental improvement to the core illusion, which Pepper's Ghost fails to do. However, Disney has previously improved on the Pepper's Ghost effect with this patent from May of 2020, which is how the hologram effect within the Rise of the Resistance pre-show is achieved, and could be how the holograms will work within the atrium of the Galactic Starcruiser as well. And then secondly, the bigger factor here is the glassless 3D imagery aspect, as if it works as planned then it has potential to be a huge breakthrough for the themed entertainment industry, as this technology could be easily applied to so many more elements than large space windows that we can see in the concept art, and maybe even extend to other attractions to make small show spaces feel much larger and deeper than they actually are, and bring real-world glassless 3D to many more attractions, thus opening up a whole new world of possibilities. And then lastly, I also wanted to talk about another technology that will be featured in both Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser and also Space 220, with that being the space travel pods or elevators. As when you arrive at the ground level Earth terminal at Walt Disney World, you'll be checked in for your embarkation, much like what is required for a Disney cruise. And then after that you'll be guided to this waiting area before boarding your pod, which will then blast you off into space for you to begin your Star Wars adventure and dock with the halcyon Starcruiser. And similar to this, to keep the story intact for the Space 220 restaurant, dinner reservation guests will board a space elevator that will ascend to dock with the space station, but obviously the design of the space elevator is slightly different. However, in both cases, these will not be elevators taking you to a physical second floor, but instead they will be standing simulators, like the bank vault elevator from the Escape from Gringotts attraction at Universal Studios. Although the key difference here is that they will feature projection domes, instead of flat panelled screens right up against the glass, which will give these simulators a sense of depth beyond the glass. But because of the physical restrictions, it most likely won't be using the same multi-plane collimated display technology previously shown in the patent. So overall, that's everything that we've been able to dissect about the technology relating to the Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser at this time. but rest assured I'll be back to cover all new details regarding the Star Wars Hotel in the future. But now, it's over to you, the Waltonists. I would like to know, what are your thoughts and opinions regarding the Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser technology and also the Space 220 restaurant? And if there was any way that you could improve either one of these projects, what would it be and how? And of course, don't forget to put the timestamp for where the hidden Mickey appeared somewhere in today's video along with your suggestion or your comment to be in with a chance to win one of these official DSNY Newscast enamel pins. And congratulations to this Waltoneer here for winning this suggestion from the previous video where I was talking all about the Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind attraction. And so that's it for today, so be sure to go ahead and subscribe down below if you're new to this channel, hit that notification bell so therefore you never miss a video, and also if you've enjoyed today's video then be sure to give this video a massive thumbs up as it really does help this channel out. And I've been Jack, you've been you, and I'll see you real soon.